Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Angeline. I decided that for the Thanksgiving theme meeting, we would take a little bit different approach. Now, we're all used to saying, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful I have a roof over my head. I'm thankful I have 3 meals a day and so forth. However, I thought it would be much more meaningful if we take a minute to think about the things in our life that were not necessarily considered a blessing at the time. We might even have considered them to be a curse or um, a burden or a challenge. Okay. But it's in the overcoming of these things, as many of us know, like Saskia and the other coaches, and of course, Dr. Robbie Motter, it's in the overcoming that we see the blessings. So I thought I would just allow us a moment to think back in our own personal lives about something that was initially challenging or discouraging or disheartening or just flat out left us flat on the ground without a place to turn. But after time and through processing our situation, we came to see new aspects of that, which actually turned into the silver lining. So everybody's life is a roller coaster. Sometimes there's a low period, and we struggle to make sense of the challenging events that are flung at us suddenly, unexpectedly, or out of our control. And usually it's something we didn't ask for. And our response is the only thing that we can control. Our response determines our future and whether or not we will survive or perish. In my life, I faced various kinds of events that I did not ask for, anticipate, or want. In each case, a blessing was revealed. And I feel that when we look at our own lives, we can also uncover those silver lining blessings. Now, I'm going to share one of them from my life. When I was a new mom 45 years ago, I was very sick in the hospital after my daughter was born. I didn't have anybody to take care of her. I had no family. Our relatives were far away. My husband was military. They didn't give him any time off. However, I prayed to God. He sent me a stranger that I didn't know to take care of my newborn, which opened up a whole new friendship for me. But not only that, when I was sick, it was with gluten enteropathy. Now, who knows what on earth that is? That was I was allergic to gluten, which is in just about everything. So when I recovered from my hospitalization, I had to learn a whole new way of eating. And nowadays, you can go to the store, Trader Joe's and Vons and so forth, and pick up gluten-free things. But 45 years ago, there was nothing on the market. You had to make everything from scratch. So that was a significant challenge, especially for a new mom. However, now as life's progressed, I see that as a benefit because it makes me conscious of eating healthy. And instead of fighting the urge to eat, cake, donuts, pie, and all that stuff, I can easily say, hey, I can't eat it. So that's just a simple version of something that turned out to be a disadvantage at the time and later was seen as a blessing. Another one, I was working in corporate finance. I was fired from my job. They said they didn't need it anymore. Initially, that was a shock. It was like, what? I have an MBA. Why would they fire me? However, then I went on through personal growth and development to discover what my strengths were. I became a teacher, retired after 20 years in the classroom and 6 years beyond that, loving it. And so I inadvertently discovered another career that I absolutely loved because my hand was forced at that moment. Another time, after 24 years of marriage, I'm sitting on the patio. My husband hands me divorce papers. What? I didn't anticipate this. No, I got married for better or for worse, and I thought that was going to last forever after. However, that turned out to be the best thing that happened in my life because after my 5 years of grieving, growth, and recovery, I went on to meet a man who is my absolute wonderful mate and partner. and we've had 20 fantastic years together. Okay. And then one other event, my brother betrayed the family and said that he used up all of mom's inheritance, leaving us with nothing. And so I had to go through that whole process. And then that led to another period of recovery, growth, and reestablishing myself as an individual, apart from all those dysfunctional people that belong to my genetic line. So wherever I looked, things that were challenging turned into blessings. So I know that in each one of our lives, we've had things that we wouldn't choose if we had a menu in front of us. But when we look back on it, we can see significant growth, development, blessings, and, a different path that we never knew we were going to be able to travel. So those are just some of my highlights. And now I would like to open up the discussion so that each of us can feel free to share something that's been challenging in our life, but we later came to see the flip side of it was a blessing. Okay, Robbie?
10 years ago, when the doctor told me I had breast cancer, that was really, I remember crying. And then I remember saying to her, well, whatever you need to do, let's do it. I don't have time to be sick. So I had the breast removed. But what it taught me, and I actually had my breast removed, and 2 days later I ran a board meeting. But what it taught me is that you cannot stress. I've learned that I do not stress about anything anymore. I've learned that every day I say to myself, I'm doing the best I can to serve, and that's all I can do. And I'm not going to worry about it, because tomorrow I'm going to have something else to worry about. And that's really served me well. And, um, life that brings you lots of different things. My other thing that happened for me, as you know, I lived in 26 foster homes, and I was on my own at 14. And I think that that made me a strong person, that anything is possible. And I believe that whatever you want to be, you can be. You need to just be you, not somebody that you think other people want you to be. And you need to be true to yourself. And as long as you do that, you'll have great successes in life.
Okay.
Thank you, Robbie. Dr. Tiara.
Hello. So I actually grew up in foster care right at birth. And when I was younger, I would cry, I would be frustrated, I would act out because I didn't understand why my mom didn't want me, but I didn't know it wasn't the fact that she didn't want me or my dad didn't want me. It was the fact that she did drugs and she wasn't even able to care for me mentally, emotionally. So anyway, I was taken by the state, placed in foster care, and separated from all my siblings. And every day I would cry because I would see all the other kids with their parents, how they talk about going to the movies. I was just so hurt by that. But later down in life, it made me stronger, and it made me say, hey, I'm not going to do drugs. I'm going to make something of myself so that I won't do that to my children. So I decided not to. And what's funny is I actually grew up around drugs, prostitution, and everything else, but I stayed and stuck to my word. Like, I'm not going to be like my mom. But anyway, me seeing that and her in her situation allowed me to be who I am today.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Wow. Yes.
Jill?
So I actually, on a way to a speaking engagement in Canada, fell and fractured and broke both ankles at once in multiple places, and it was intense. I couldn't quite get out of Canada. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair for 5 months. And what I learned was that God stopped me in my tracks. And I re-looked and recreated and thunk again about many things. I started a TV show called Messages of Hope. And I really think it turned some things around for me. And, the other thing I had to learn to do was accept help. I don't know if any of you feel like a bit of a lone ranger out there, but, it's so independent. And I really had to ask for it, and more importantly, receive help. So that was powerful too. It was a great experience, painful, but certainly a great one.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Susie,
Jill.
I make you a co-host so you can remove the things. Okay, go ahead, Susie.
Okay, let's see. Is it okay if I call on you ladies?
Yes. Yeah, because I think somebody raised
Yeah.
already. Holly. Can you see? Did you see Holly raise her hand?
Oh, yeah, I didn't see the hand. Okay, Holly.
Because I'm really, really white.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
so I love this question because I think if we don't find the lessons that come through these, we get to keep repeating challenges, right? So my stories, I spent 70 days in the hospital with COVID, and I was intubated and twice, and I had a trach and got sepsis, and I was one of the very few that walked out of there not on a gurney in that situation. And I had some out of body near death experiences, and I'm just barely starting to speak about those. I'm a speaker already, but it's changed my perception and projection of the way things in my whole life have happened. And it's been 2 years right now. I was in the hospital until November 12th, 2 years ago, and it changes everything. And I started my nonprofit. I always wanted a nonprofit, but I never could land on what that looked like. Well, get in a coma for 70, in the hospital in a coma. I think I was in a coma about 35 days. And you get a lot of answers. So I think God just had to slow me down. So I couldn't go anywhere. So talk about being in your head. I was definitely in my head, but those were lessons. Just so many great things came out of it, even though it was the worst experience of my life.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you for sharing, Holly.
Joan.
I can.
Joan, yeah.
Oh,
Here.
Joan, me? Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Want to make sure. Okay. I have a photography program helping girls to establish leadership and getting over positive mindsets, building up self-esteem. So I've been doing these workshops since 2004. So earlier this year, we had an opportunity to apply for funding. It was a one-time funding here in California, and it was focusing on making sure that artists got paid and had to have, you had to fit in certain categories. So I spent 2 months going to every workshop you could go to, making sure I did everything you're supposed to do. They had online meetings. I was in every online meeting. It was, it came across as, yes, you're going to get this funding. I already had programs set up here in the Inland Empire because it was just for people in the Inland Empire. So had people ready to go in the Inland Empire and also out in Needles. And so we were just all set up and ready to go with this. And one thing that really propelled me forward with it is the CDC reports on the state of girls in our society has worsened as far as depression, self-esteem. Girls, reported being the victims of more sexual violence during the last few years. So these rates and things, these bad statistics have increased. So, like I said, 2 months. Well, imagine the shock when we didn't get the funding. And we had all these things planned and everything. And like I said, it was almost seemed like a sure thing it was going to happen. So that was something that was just like really a downer, really, really almost devastating because the people I had ready to go to work and everything, we had to change some things. But what I did in the meantime, so I'm still in the middle of all this actually, is I decided, okay, we'll have to raise funds another way. And so one thing that I'm doing as a fundraiser, I started something that I've always wanted to do. And I've been doing it for years anyway, just haven't been doing it where people could buy them. I started designing journals. And so now I have a a couple of them on sale on Amazon. But what I'm using are photographs, like vintage type photographs from when I had my studio, my photography studio in the 90s. So I have quite a collection of those because I had said, oh, one of these days I'm going to start a stationery line or something with these pictures. So that day is here now. I'm in the middle of it at this point. Well, I'm in the beginning stages of it actually, but just the fact that, instead of just, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Now we can't do it the way we wanted to, but it did propel me to start something that I've actually been doing it for years, but actually designing these things and making them available for others. And then that little stationery line is coming along as well. So that is something that just really propelled me forward to delve more into my own creativity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you,
Sandra?
Joan.
Hello, I am number 12 of 15 children. My
Wow.
parents had 15 children, yes. One mother, one father for all of them, which takes me to my life. I'm the mother of 9 children. I birthed 9 children. I had 4 miscarriages. I went through a tumultuous marriage, and I was married for 20 years. I never dreamt in a million years that people can suffer because I grew up in a home with 2 loving parents, and I've never witnessed them argue or anything. And so my mom never raised her voice. So you can only imagine. I was in a culture shock when I got married because he was of a different personality and he believed in arguing for 3 hours all by himself. I didn't have to interject at all. So I loved him though, and I had 9 children by him. I suffered tremendously. I recall one morning the lights, the gas, and everything was off in the home. And I had long, beautiful hair, and I always was taught to dress up and to be my best every day. You go outside, be your best. And so I do that even to this day. But since I didn't have any power, I had to be creative. And I walked to the gas station. I plugged my curling iron in the wall, and I curled my beautiful hair. That sticks out to me because it tells me that women have resiliency regardless to whatever situation you're placed in, and you do not have to give up. Hence, it takes me to my passion, my desire, and my drive. I have a drive to help men and women, girls and boys, because of my life experience. I've suffered tremendously. I lived in over a $500,000 home, 3-car garage, and I went down to nothing. I was evicted, from my home that I raised my children with. It was devastating. I didn't know what to do. I downsized and moved to Indiana. I want to say that a situation may just be an opportunity for a miracle. Had I not gone through everything I went through, I would not be an author. I would not be a TV host. I would not be who I am today. So I am here because I was invited by Dr. Mater, and I am just thrilled to meet women of like manner, that we're not in a glass ceiling and we're not putting on an air saying that we're perfect, but we're real life people who have struggled and have gone through. But I'm confident in saying that God has blessed me, and now I can help somebody else, and I can recognize it, because it's important to be able to recognize and see somebody else that is going through, and so I started a company, Journey into Purpose LLC, where I help women, and I have a website, and it's called journeyintopurposellc.com. And I have a place on there where you can donate, because I'm solely doing it by myself right now. You can place a donation there. I also host Sandra's Authors Forum, which is a platform for you. It is a pay-to-play platform. I've interviewed Les Brown. I've interviewed so many people, and I've been doing this because I felt like I love the underdog. And I was that person at one time that I knew I had it, you know, I knew I had something to offer the world, but I couldn't find the right platform. So I bring people in all over the world to showcase and to feature their passions. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Saskia, would you like to share?
Sure, if I can really get over the gravity of what was shared already. The stories they touch my heart. Thank you. So my story is, I guess I have probably do two big ones, but I'm just gonna probably go on one. I spent around like 17 plus years in corporate America, and clearly I was not living my true self. It was really what people told me to be. I was operating as a chemical engineer and a visionary, and leading projects around the world and all that stuff. And so on March 30, I'll say March 31st, but somewhere in February, I had a major layoff. And just after I led a project that delivered really exceptional results of quality, and got clapped, yeah, did a great job. And within 2 weeks of that, I found out that I had no job. And I was like, what? No job. And there on my page, my face was on the covers of the first company STEM, Connect a magazine, and all these other companies and all those things I was doing. In addition, I was like, wow. So that was the moment the Lord said, it's time. It's time to move on to better. You've been suppressed enough, and it's time to finally walk in the purpose for your life. This is not it. And so I had to start from somewhere. I felt as though, like, my God, this is like I've hit rock bottom. Like, what do I do if I don't have a job in high tech? Like, what do I do if I'm not, what do I do? And so anyway, the what did I do's were figured out. And here I am. GSFE community has opened up so many pathways for me. You guys have been so welcoming. Each of you are family members. And I got to see the world in a whole different light, visibility-wise, and to make an impact, most importantly, in the healing and empowerment of others. And so I get to share my story, even a local event here, honoring, I'm one of the honorees for the work that I'm doing in terms of trauma healing and recovery. And I am so thankful that I got pushed out, propelled into purpose for such a time as this. So you inspire me, keep inspiring, keep doing the great work. I'm just really honored to be in this circle of women who literally live, love, right? And solidarity for each other. And just really happy to be. Love you guys, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saskia. Peggy?
Yeah, so I'd been practicing law for 12 years and then totally changed careers and went to work for a human potential movement training company and was living in San Francisco, and I was a trainer intern and had been an intern for a few months, and then we were on a retreat. And that night, all the trainers are sitting in like a U thing, and then the interns had to get in front of them and give a little talk, and I gave my little talk. And then they started chewing me out. You'll never be a trainer. You're never going to make it here. You were horrible. You ruined a training last week. You just went on and on. They'd had a little too much to drink, but it was also their MO. That's how they operated, was chewing people up, chewing people out. Anyway, so they said, you're never going to make it. And remember, I just left practicing law for 12 years, and now anyway. So I was humiliated in front of all these people that I admired and respected. And anyway, it's just horrible. And so I was just devastated, humiliated, and just cried that night. And the next day we all went back on this bus. I sat way in the back by myself. But somewhere over the next couple of days, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to give up. I don't want to go back and practice law. I came here to be a trainer. I'm going to be a trainer, and I'm going to be the best trainer they ever had. And so, and I did become a trainer in one of the shortest period of time they'd ever had somebody move beyond being an intern, and did wind up for a period of time coaching the other trainers before I moved to New York City to manage a training center. And so, well, I wasn't angry, Lisa. I actually wasn't angry. What it was this resolve. It was a resolve of just this sheer, like, I'm in charge of my life, not them. And this is who I'm going to be. And I am going to make sure that I'm successful at this because I want to be. So I hear that maybe it's coming across like anger, but it wasn't anger. It was like, it was just, I mean, I was hurt and humiliated, but it wasn't anger just so much as just like, well, being humiliated, because that was kind of a theme from my childhood, being humiliated and wrong. But it was more like, no, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be the best at this. So anyway, so it was, of course, that's carried with me my whole life to just realize no matter what's going on, just this resolve, determination that it can turn around in an instant, because that turned around within a few days that I was on it again, on fire. Here we go.
So, right.
Thank you, Peggy.
Wow.
Angeline?
Okay. So with me, I think like some of you, like Saskia and Peggy, I was at the height of my, one of the height of my career. And I received so many awards and recognition. And one day, my supervisor told me that basically I don't have the job anymore. I'm being laid off. And I took it personally, because how can somebody let me go when I have received all these awards and everything, and they appreciate, and I got a letter from the president, everything. I took it personally until somebody, and which is the supervisor that was also laid off a few months before that, told me, she said, it's not about you. It's the company that they have to reorganize, and you're one of the top payer, and they just look at numbers. But what a blessing it is, because it forced me to look at a better career. And guess what? The next job I get, actually, I have this confidence. I asked for what I felt I worth, and I got it. And 50% more than what I was paid. Now, if I did not get laid off, I would just be happy doing that and getting 10% increase, 5% increase. I get 50% because nobody knows I moved to the next level. And then on top of that, after that, when another company told me that I have to choose between being laid off or move to another state, that I was single, and being single, that I felt I'm responsible, and I just bought a house. And that's why I was devastated. How am I going to pay the house payment? But because of that, I learned to be strong. And then when another company gave me a choice, guess what? I choose to be laid off, because I said, I can find a better job. And that's when I ending up with the Taco Bell that get a lot more pay, but that was the best job that I ever had in my life in the corporate world, and helped me to be who I am now as a coach. So what is, if I did not get laid off, I will not be who I am now. And I'd be just happy doing what I was doing. And so that is the blessing that I felt, that because of the layoff, I see the other side of me that I am good at.
Thank you, Angeline. Dr. Verlaine, would you like to share your story?
Yeah, I'll share one of my many stories. I had gotten married in 1992, and it was beautiful. We moved to Idlewild up on the mountain. And after about a year, we moved into High Castle, which is an amazing space that you have this beautiful view of Lily Rock. And I turned it into a guest house where I rented out some rooms, and we had another little guest house that we also rented out. And I was using it as a retreat center. People would come up, and I would do workshops there. And I had a beautiful garden that I created, like a secret garden, and it was just absolutely fabulous. And Tom was a psychiatrist, but he was also a spiritual seeker. and in college had been very involved in spiritual work. And so we got along very well in that particular area. And everything seemed fabulous, you know, until about 7 years later, he came to me with a letter and sat next to me on the couch, and the letter talked about how he was deeply in love with someone else. And it was such a shock. It was just before Christmas time. And long story of all the stuff that happened, but to be left alone in the mountain in this great big lodge was like being the last person on earth at the end of the world, right? And I had already had a spiritual awakening, and I had guides that were helping me and so forth. But it was at a deep level of devastation that I felt betrayed, you know. And so I did a lot of work with myself. But the most beautiful part was that in the evenings, I have a big stone fireplace. I would go up these steps that we have upstairs, and I turned a room into what I called the temple room. And I had like Jesus and the Buddha and angels. And everybody was there, right? You know, and I would get quiet. And then I had this little book that had two angels on the front. And on each page were these two angels that were holding hands and going skyward. And I would get quiet, and then words would start to come, and I'd start to write. And it was as they were talking to me about love and healing and releasing the baggage and all of these things. And so each one was written. And it was such a deep purging of the stories of my past, of my father leaving, you know, of different experiences that took place. And that particular book is what I finally published just a few weeks ago, called Endless Shades of the Mystical Rose. And it is so memorable to me. And so it still brings me tears, right? And there's poems that are about that are after that as well, that and some that I see past lives, and I saw different stories in past lives that are in there. And I think you really enjoy it. But that was such a revelation, and realizing that I shouldn't be on the mountain anymore, that I needed to go to the flatland. They call them flatlanders from up on the mountain. And in many ways it was helpful. But the 7 years there, and during that time I was also traveling to Japan and the Far East, and I was doing channeling and speaking to people and doing private sessions. And it was an incredible time. And so I'm very grateful for that, but I'm also grateful for being able to end it and to learn more about myself. I think that's what we do in this process of life. We keep learning more about ourselves and who we really are. And I went through that thing of not being enough, of what was missing, you know, what did I do wrong? And, you know, when I found out who the girl was and everything, it's just like, I'll never understand it. I had read so many books about, you know, the men leaving and all this stuff. And I read everything I could to try to understand. And then I realized you can't, that's not something that you can understand. It's just something you have to allow. And then the forgiveness was very interesting, because I was trying to figure out a way to forgive her and him, and especially for lying for a long time about it, you know. And finally I found a little book. I was in an airport, and here's this book. I was asking everybody, how do you forgive? And even ministers, they wouldn't give me a how. I wanted a path to how to do it. And in this little book, it said, you don't have to do it. You turn it over to God. And what I did is I was on the plane, and I said, okay, God, my head was so full of noise about it. I know many of you probably experienced it, where you're going, he said, she said, they did, what did they do? Oh my God. You know, and you got all this, like, I call it a bowling alley, right? It was so noisy. And so I said, okay, God, I don't know how to forgive. please take it over, do it. And the next 2 weeks, it was like all that stuff started just rising off my head until finally it was gone. And then, of course, I asked for forgiveness for myself that I allowed that to continue, because I have second sight. I saw him with another woman and all that during that time, but I kept saying, oh, no, 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 you know, no problem. And so all of us, if you can listen to your intuition, that's always my key words, and pay attention and follow it. And then allow yourself, if something happens, to go into that deeper part of yourself.
Thank you, Verlaine. Lisa, do you have a silver lining story?
Yes. I think we all do, right? You live long enough. You live long enough. Man, probably the one that hit me the hardest was when we had the recession, 2008, 9, 10 era. And we went from, you know, which a lot of you shared, you know, have everything, to where did it all go, including our marriage. So I would say that 2009 was definitely got hit by with a 2x4. I won't go into all the details because of our time today, but it really, really rocked my world. The silver lining is, ironically, when it prompted me to look deeper into my own personal development, because I knew, oh my gosh, if I don't address these patterns and take responsibility for my part in the situation, I'm going to repeat it again and again, which then led me to a career in personal development, which then led me to starting a group around speaking, which led me to coach speakers. I mean, so it's like all the dominoes were there, and meeting the love of my life. We've been together now for 13 years. So it's just none of that would have happened if I didn't go through that dark night of the soul, similar to everyone here today.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. Elizabeth, do you have a story you'd like to share?
Wow. I feel really surrounded by just amazing people. Might feel a little emotional.
Okay.
I would say that
do you want us to come back to you?
Yes, please.
Okay. How about Sybil? Do you have a story to share, Sybil?
Yes, I do. And like so many of you, it actually involves divorce. I find it so interesting that many of us, given this opportunity to talk about like a life-altering breakthrough, it comes from something very similar. And I think that that's the place where a lot of us end up. But 13 years ago, I went through a divorce that I never, ever, ever thought would happen. It was my decision to actually go through it. And I guess I went through it because I was just looking for more. I expected more out of my life. And it led me to my current husband, who actually we reconnected after 28 years of not seeing each other because we were sweethearts in high school. So I reconnected with a high school sweetheart, and he happened to live in Chandler, Arizona, which is now where I reside, because I'd come from Boise, Idaho, and had no real need to move out of Boise, Idaho. I'd have everything that I wanted, my kids, my brother, my parents, but it was time. And I think that one of the things that I needed was a reason to spread my wings and fly. And so I did it, and led me to this husband that I have now, which is the high school sweetheart. So we had a lot in common. And then also moved to a new state. I picked up my entire life, sent my children off to college, and moved and landed in Arizona. And I would have never landed here if it had not been for that life choice that I made. And, you know, all of the blessings in my life now, with my career, with my company, which is here in Chandler, Arizona, Isogenics, I would have never had those opportunities if I had not made that decision 13 years ago to spread my wings and fly. So I do see it as some silver linings, but wow, it was some tough times. I literally think divorce takes women to a place where I could have died of disease that easy, because I just was the worst I'd ever been, just a total puddle of, I always call myself the puddle of goo on the floor that needs picked up and dusted off and move on to Arizona. So here I am today. But yeah, silver lining story for sure.
Thank you, Sybil.
Oh.
Evelyn, do you have a story you'd like to share?
Well, I went through a divorce after 38 years of a fake marriage. Little did I know, I felt that I was just there to supply the children for his mother, and he was more devoted to her than me. But my kids left at around 20. They're all very successful. One works for the government. The middle one is a cancer doctor in pediatrics who does cell therapy transplants for children. And my youngest daughter, she passed away of cancer at 27, but she got her degree. She got her doctorate degree in physical therapy. But, you know, they said they all left because of me. And the psychologist says they all say that, so they have an excuse to live. But evidently they're very successful and they're happily married. So that's all that's important to me. But I have no idea why he filed for divorce. I was handy around the house. You know, I custom made my kids' bedrooms, you know, drapes and everything, you know, involved in all their activities and stuff like that. But that's okay. I have learned not to be so mad at him. Of course, when I have to see him, I don't even look at him anymore. Forgive, I don't know, but I'm not so angry now. I'll never forget. But he used to criticize me. But that didn't bother me because I knew who I was. So luckily I started looking into organizing people, and for the last 23 years, and that gave me joy. And that's all that counts. So I'm in a mobile home. It's beautiful. I used to have 3,000 square feet. Now I have 1,500. I'm not used to that. So I've really learned how to maximize my space here. But what gives me joy is my job of helping people out of their clutter situation, because it affects the quality of their life, both business and personal relationships. And so I'm taking my very first vacation in about 30 years with GSFE on the cruise. And so I am happy to join all my sisters, have a new experience, and open up more opportunities, because I feel they're opening up now. And so you have to go through a journey in life. You don't know what it is. But anyway, GSE was all started with Robbie, because I couldn't afford to go to the first conference. And so she gave me a discount. And I've been following her for 30 years, and I will never, ever forget that. And I'm very grateful for her. So thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. Kay, do you have a silver lining story?
A silver lining story?
Yes. And just to tell you, ladies, Kay just recently, the last hour, came off of Lori Davis's Recovery Summit, where she gave her fantastic story. So I know she can share something.
It's like I'm brain dead by now. Or I have a divorce story. I can go along with that. And oh my goodness, that sounds like several of you have had that experience. And it's too bad we have to go through that. Mine was really tough. I had a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 6-month-old. When my husband, we were curled up in bed, and he said, I'm leaving. And I couldn't believe he was leaving. And I thought, what do you mean you're leaving? You're just going out for a walk? Or no, I'm leaving, I'm gone. So it was big time, big tough stuff. But I think we realize when we go through that tough stuff, how strong we really are. I didn't think I was very strong, but I found the strength in that. And I think that's what we all find, is that, you know, we go through those tough things. God hones us and makes us who we are and who is inside of us. that are there to come out and do things. And it's been fun. I think this group, the GSFE, has really been a growing experience for me as well. And I love meeting all of you and getting to know you little bits at a time. I've only been in this, what, a year, Susie? A year and a half? So yeah, I guess it's a year and almost be 2 years in January.
Mhm.
But what a great group this is, and so many different stories and people that are there that are here. So thank you
Can
all.
can I share something too? Sorry, it just came in my mind. So for those of you who heard, I am a former foster youth, and when I was in college, GSFB actually helped me buy books when I couldn't afford it, and I'll never forget that either.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was when it was NAFI, but it was Dr. Robbie who did it.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. But
Thank
she
you for
helped me.
sharing.
Yeah, she helped me get through college because if I didn't have the books, I would have never passed the classes.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Tierra. Elizabeth, would you like to add anything?
Okay. Thank you for your patience and just incredible stories of resiliency. So my story is that I lost my mom when I was 18, and I'm a child of alcoholics. And so my life has been spent living in a lot of gray and learning how to love me again. And so I am incredibly grateful that I've done those things, that I can come out of the gray into the vividness, into embracing life, and just really grateful for my stepmother and my step family that I have. But I think, and just learning to love me again. And so, and then being able to help others do that as well now. So that's what's been so powerful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that I missed? I don't know. iPhone. Is that Brittany?
Anybody? Okay. So so thank you, Susie, for sharing this. And I want to personally thank you, all of you, for being very transparent and for sharing this, because all of them that I learned, doesn't matter, the story is that we become stronger and we become more confident of ourselves. And that is what I think it's important for all of us. That is how it turned out to be. It's not what it started to be, like Susie said. And by joining GSFE, and also it helps me a lot going through the personal development. And sometimes, like Robbie would tell me that you can do it, and she would challenge me. And when somebody do that to me, it gets me going, because Robbie knows what takes me off, or what something that empower me. And that's sometimes in each one of us, we all have talents that how we can help others. And that's why I would like to encourage all of us to share and help others. And coming to that, so the next thing that I want to share is that I want to express my gratitude to some people, and that in my life. Number one is, of course, Robbie. Without her being my mentor, I will not be here, and I will not be leading this network. I will not be proud, or I will not feel that I have this talent to make a difference to others. So thank you, Robbie, and from the bottom of my heart. And the second one I want to thank you is Susie. She's my co-director. Without her help, I'll be struggling, running a meeting every month. Not only that, she gave me some tip, some personal development also. And one thing good, that we can be honest with each other. And we can say, no, Susie, I don't agree with you. And Susie would say, Angeline, okay, this. So we can be that honest with each other to speak and talk. And at the end of the day, I would say, thank you, Susie, for being honest to me. And that is what I appreciate, what I call a true friendship. Somebody that will be honest with me, that will tell me something that maybe I'm too proud to be, you know, for somebody to tell me. But at the end, because this person care about me. And so that is what a true friend is. So she is my true friend, to help not only a co-director, but my true friend.
Thank you.
One, I want to, Saskia, I know you're a new member, but you have referred me to so many people like Sybil and some other people that I could name, at least 4 people in the last 2 months. She has gone through so many different networks, and she actually mentioned every single one of them about how great GSFE has been for her. And to me, that is a true members, right, Robbie? That when you join and you speak about GSFE everywhere you go. And even Sybil told me that why she wanted to meet with me, because of Saskia. Saskia mentioned how great GSFE. See, that is what we need to do, that we feel that this is the sisterhood. But not only that, our group is about personal development. It helped us to be better in what we do. And that is who we are. And so many of us has talent. Like, for example, Lisa. Hey, she's going to help us to be a better speaker. Saskia, she's going to help us to be a better person, that we become confident. So all of us, Evelyn, I mean, each one of us, you know, be organizer, be a better speaker, each one of us, that I want to be grateful to all of you. So because of that, I have special gift that I'm going to draw. And that was something that Dr. Tara Lee has. And it's a necklace that she is going to ship to one of you. And I am going to share that with the, to show you. And I could, for some reason, I could not find the, okay. Can you see the wheel name? It's a necklace that she sent it to me, Tara. My apology. I could not find in the email. So let me see if I can do this. And it's a beautiful, beautiful necklace that I am going to draw. And so I want to make sure that I put everybody's name in here. And but
under Chino Valley, type in GSFE Chino Valley and it should come up. I think I sent it from there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Can you see that?
yeah.
This is the necklace.
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Beautiful
Yes,
necklace.
yes.
That's
Okay.
beautiful, beautiful.
So we are
There,
going
if
to
you
draw that necklace. Okay.
scroll down
And
so they can see the
I
picture.
got that.
Can I have that body?
Scroll down scroll down so they can see the other picture.
Yes. Isn't that beautiful?
Very
So
interesting,
this is
very.
something that I got from Tara. She is also have so many beautiful jewelry. So if you would like to get some jewelry, talk to her. She has this so many very affordable jewelries. Okay, and so okay, here I'm going to draw. Okay, you have to be present to win. So I have to hide and do another one. Oh, she's not here either, right?
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, she's not here. She had another meeting.
Sybil, you win. And so Sybil, if you can text, or I mean put in the chat, private chat to Tyra and your mailing address, she will ship it to you.
Sure will.
Yeah. Or if you want to text me and I can send it to Tara, it's whichever is easier for you. Okay.
Got it right here.
So now the next one, before I, so let me stop sharing in here and then want to show you, which is me, you know, with the theme today, how all of us learn to forgive, right? We cannot forget, but we have to forgive. And who we have to forgive first is ourselves. You know, because sometimes we have so much hatred that somebody, you know, especially the one that I understand, you know, your ex-husband or ex-lover, that, you know, you don't want to forget, but we have to forgive ourselves instead of forgive them first. So this book that was Love Your Haters. And some of you seen that. So I'm going to draw this book, and then whoever the win, that's going to be winning this book. Okay. So I'm going to again share. Where is that? Okay, share screen. And to draw that book. Sandra, are you here, Sandra? Did she leave? I know she's
No,
here.
Sandra's
I am here.
I
I am
see
here.
Sandra.
I am a winner.
Sandra.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. I never
Sandra.
win.
Yes. Okay, Sandra. So you win this book. And
Thank
please,
you. I need it.
please chat me privately if you want, or publicly, doesn't matter, your mailing address, and I will mail that to you.
Thank you kindly.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
And so we'll get this from Amazon. So you will receive it from Amazon. It's from me and that book. Okay.
Thank you.
Angeline, would you
Yes.
like to give another book away? You could give my new book away if you want.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And you have, can you show to everybody the book first?
What
for Lane, can people see that book? Is that the one that Slide of Mystical Road? Shade of Mystical Road?
In the Shades of the Mystical Rose.
Yes, which is relate to what we're talking about today. Okay, so that book, okay, I'm going to draw. Robbie.
Oh.
Robbie. So for Lane, do you have Robbie's mailing address?
I think so, yes, with the check and all. Yes.
Okay. Congratulations, Robbie. Is he still there? Robbie?
I'm here and I'm
okay,
excited.
Sorry, I just have to hear
All
your
about
voice.
showing up.
Yeah, I just have to hear your voice, because I couldn't see it because I'm looking at this. So the next one, excited again because here I am so grateful. So I have 2 of $25 Amazon card, and you know how many of you guys like to shop at Amazon, right? So I'm going to give 2 $25 Amazon gift card. And this will be digital. So I don't have to mail it to you. I just email it to you. and then you can shop at Amazon. So, okay, let's go. Oh, Steve is not here, so
Not here.
yeah. Nancy.
Oh, she left. Oh, she had to leave.
She has to leave. Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay, hold on again. Um, Brittany. Brittany, congratulations, Brittany. You win the $25 digital Amazon card from me.
Oh, yeah.
So please, put in the chat your mailing address.
Okay.
She's gonna share it with everybody. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, so now another one. Okay. Christine.
I think she left.
Christine, are you still here, Christine?
I think she left.
Oh, she has to leave. Okay. Okay. Verlaine.
Yay.
Thank you, Verlaine. And
Thank you.
So, and I believe I have your mailing address.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you.
Email. You're going to send an email, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Email. Sorry. Email. Thank you for the reminder. But anyway, so it is close to 1:30. I want again to thank you for coming and celebrate this grateful event. And I'm really thankful for you to show up and supporting me. And so, Tara, before we end, do you want to say something about your jewelries?
I
Tara.
just thought it was a great meeting, and I think that, it was wonderful to have everybody be real. I mean, that's what I think we're so great about GSFE. We are our own person, and we can be real because we're sisters and we care about each other. So I'm happy to be back, and I'm bringing lots of opportunities because there were 10 GSFE sisters in Manila with me. So they all got to experience it. I think the greatest thing was that we had our own motorcycle cops making all the traffic, and we had OSI guarding us. So, I mean, it's supposed to be a very safe place, but we were guarded, and I just loved it. In the last 2 days, we didn't have that. It was like kamikaze the way they drive. So I really, except there were times they went in the one-way traffic and you do this, but it was quite an experience. I've never been in a car where we had two motorcycle cops leading us and an OSI behind us. So I felt like I was somebody.
You are.
But they treated us all that way. I mean, I wasn't the only person, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Everybody should experience that. So come to Mexico. I'm sure they'll have. What was interesting is I asked them if they had to pay for that, and they did not have to pay for the coverage.
Wow.
And we had it every day, everywhere we went.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Plus,
Thank you.
I met a lot of great people that I'll be able to introduce all of you to. And those of you that are coming to Kindness Day, you'll get to meet Dr. Carolyn McCaca. She's in 159 countries. You'll get to meet Dr. Randy Ward. You'll get to meet Dr. Dawn Anderson, that has a great show that everybody can. She has the magazine, and I think Saskia, you've been on the cover. I've been on the cover. And so, it's all about showing up. And I'm even thinking Queen Eden's gonna try to jump in on the call if she can. She's an amazing woman. And so you never know. I mean, I never thought I'd meet a queen.
Robbie, you are a queen.
So just for those of you who are new, so then just to let you know now, we have members from outside United States, of course, London and some country in Africa, but also now
We have
besides
Nigeria.
Canada, Nigeria. Now we have members from the Philippines. And so we also have members from Mexico. And that's to me, this
And we
is
actually have
really-
2 new members that are going to be in your group here. One is Dr. B. She's from Texas. She was in Manila, and um uh,
Monica?
Monica, doctor, and she's also a pastor, Monica. And I think you met her, Angeline, and I think those of you that went to London met her.
Yes.
So she's part of your group.
Oh.
You know, sometimes I have to look at the time. I was hoping to put the queen in your group, but it doesn't work out time-wise because they're 15 hours ahead. So she's going in the New York group. So
Yeah.
when you jump on the New York line, you'll get to meet her because she's very excited. One of the things she said when I asked her why she wanted to join us was that she said she wanted to learn how to be a great entrepreneur. So,
yeah.
Robbie, could you just explain Kindness Day for the new people?
okay, Kindness Day is
The store?
it's a day where all of our directors get to pick 2 people that they feel show up at their network, are kind to the members, and also do things outside of the organization. Plus, because the directors and the co-directors do so much work, they automatically get picked. So there's 4 from every network. We have 109 awards. And every year they choose who they want to. So it's all about showing up and supporting the group. Because kindness comes in many ways. And at the event we have we will be doing the youth first. And one of the gals, Kyra, she's pretty amazing. Those of you that went to the thing know she just sang in Hawaii for the NFL football team. She's 9 years old. When she was 5 during COVID, she was going around Hawaii getting food to feed people. One day this girl is going to be somebody. Anyway, she has already made a message to these youth. We have 6 youth that'll be getting awards. 3 will be on the call and 3 will be there live. And she's got a message. I mean, when she gives a message, we could all learn from this 9-year-old. I mean, she is so amazing. And then she's recorded a song. And then the next group we will do will be that there's only several that are out of state because actually Dr. Lori Davis is going to be showing up from Canada. Dr. Makaka is here from London. So there isn't that many, but we have a gal that was Miss United States for Women of Achievement, and she sings Tina Turner. She lives in Austin, Texas, so she'll be doing a video. She's already sent me the video. She'll do a message for that group, and then we'll have a song from her. Then the rest of the people will be getting their awards live, which include a trophy and certificates. And then we have 9 entertainers, and we have the place that we're doing it. You could have lunch all day. I was worried, because nowadays it's what can you eat? Like I remember one time I thought I'd do a salad luncheon. Somebody said, I don't eat tomatoes. I don't eat. I thought, oh, but this is a smorgasbord, and they have 250 kinds of food, and you can eat 12 plates if you want. So I don't have to worry. You just go up and keep eating. And so that's so we'll have entertainment, we'll have the awards, and we will have food, and we'll have networking, and we'll have fun. And the theme is Barbie. The color for World Kindness Day is pink, so we're asking everybody to wear pink. And some of them are even getting blonde wigs to look like Barbie. So who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be pretty crazy. But I know that every year Kindness Day is a lot of fun. And I think when you show up, I mean, we have groups that meet, and some are bigger, some are smaller. but when we come together in a group, you really see the family. So we hope that you will. We're at a. I'm only going to take a few more, and I'm cutting it off because we don't want to. We need to have room to dance because we do dance after and have fun. It was like one of the things that happened in Manila. I went to this thing where everybody was, just before I came back, everybody wore their costume of their country. It was pretty amazing. But at the end, that room was rocking. Boy, those women knew how to dance. It was 5 numbers and it was all over the room. So it was pretty cool to see that. So like I said, we are one. We like music no matter where we are.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope you'll, even if you're not a winner, you should come and support other winners because that's what it's about. You know, next year maybe you'll be a winner and you'd want people
Why
to
are
come.
you having daddy's dirty socks?
What is it? What was the question?
You got strawberries and bananas right there. Look.
What, Tyra? You have a question?
Oh, sorry. I was telling my daughter why she had her daddy's dirty sock.
Oh.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so thank you so much and for coming in. I know I don't like to come late.
Oh, and we have great opportunity baskets. In fact, Jean's in there putting them all together now, and they're huge, and we're doing a lot of Barbie themes in them. And Samantha's created all the table decorations, and all of them have a Barbie in them, and they'll become door prizes after. And their husband has built us like a old-fashioned telephone booth that's a Barbie booth. So you'll be able to take pictures in the Barbie thing.
Sure. Okay.
I have one of the original Barbies back
Oh.
from the 50s. She's probably worth $3 to $5 grand right now.
Wow.
With the piece and the clothes and the pattern.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
Angeline.
Yes, Susie. What?
I just wanted to have one more final thought, and this applies to all of us, ladies. I have stopped looking for the light. I have decided to become it.
Yay. Now we're going to end the meeting. Before we end, like we like to have a quote. So actually my message is that I was reading this article and from, Inc. and a lot of them that has a really good message. And this is something from Warren Buffett that, as you know who he is. And he said, it is not tax at all. Share as far as what is the best investment you can make when you're battling inflation. And he said, it doesn't have to cost you a dime. Guess what he said? Personal development. You need to improve yourself. Don't blame other things, because once you improve yourself, you can be more successful. And then to me, this is what Robbie said, that every one of us believe that it has to come from us first. We have to improve ourselves in order to become a better and more successful entrepreneur. Is that he said, invest yourself with personal development. And that is really touched me, when you've seen successful entrepreneurs said, people ask for all these secret. And I said, no, you just have to improve yourself. And that is something to me that it touched me when you hear that we need to improve ourselves. So thank you for coming. And if you want to stay, so for example, if you knew, or if you want to chat with Robbie and ask more about GSFE, that you can stay, but you're welcome to leave. And then if you want to talk to Tyra about the jewelry what I display, feel free to stay. And otherwise, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Bye. Tara, are you still there? Tilly?
I had a quick question.
Yes, yeah. Sure.
Where's the physical meeting, the Kindness Day
I'm
place?
still here.
Well, it's going to be at Lux Buffet in Westminster Mall in Westminster, California.
Okay. I'll find out where that
And
is. I don't
tickets
know
are
where that
not,
is.
well, there won't be any tickets at the door, so you have to buy, but you can go online to
Okay.
gsfeus.com, click on events, and then click on upcoming events, and you can buy a ticket that way.
Got it. Wonderful. Well, this has been wonderful. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Yeah, that will be fun. And Sandra, are you coming to the event, or you're joining virtually?
Virtually, yes,
Oh,
I'm
great.
pretty far away, but I am coming to the April 20th event in California.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
And
for the graduation, yes.
yeah.
For the
And Tilly,
manager.
I'm gonna see you, right, Tilly?
Yes, I'm coming.
You're coming? Okay, good. Because Ravi, I never met her.
Not in person. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never met Tilly. So we've been talking virtually, several
Right.
times.
Right.
So that's one thing. Some of these people that I've been talking virtually, we never met. So this is exciting that we're gonna meet for the first
Yeah,
time.
I'm very excited. We only have 3 people not coming that are getting awards.
Oh,
Barbara Ham's not coming because she's getting surgery. Tamara Bell's not coming. And then in T's group, Latrice and Brittany are not coming, but those are the only
Oh.
ones. Everybody else is coming.
Okay. Yeah. Brianna is coming, right? She is.
No, she just told me, she,
She's
Brianna
right.
told me she couldn't come.
Oh, she physical. Oh, because I remember she said she would call off
Well,
work.
she said she was working or something, so if she
Yeah.
wants to come, she needs to get a ticket. So far, she